Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Digital Signal Processing. In the last class, we have solved several problems which is associated to find the DFT of the given signal and also we find IDFT of the given signal. Now let us try to optimize how to find out the DFT of the given signal. For that, we have one of the important transformation that is called as a DFT as linear transformation. In the when if you can see in the last problem what we were able to solve, that is nothing but to find the DFT of the given signal. So for example, this is the case you can see here. So for the given four number of samples, so if I want to find out the DFT of the given signal, that is x of k summation n is equal to 0 to 3 x of n into omega n to the power of n. So if I expand this, so you can carefully observe over here to find the one sample values of x of k, how many multiplications we are supposed to do is, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, that is 4 multiplications you are supposed to do for the one value of the given sample x of k. So if you want to similarly find out the endpoint DFT of the given signal, so since in this case we have considered the 4 samples, but if you want to, so for the first sample you have used a 4 multiplication. So similarly, if you want to find out the DFT of the given signal means, then you are supposed to use another 4 samples for one more, another 4 multiplications for one more sample, and another 4 sample multiplications for one more samples, and another 4 multiplication for the one more sample. So means what? To compute the endpoint DFT of the given signal, then the number of complex multiplications which are required is n into n, that is nothing but n square. Similarly, when you compare to the addition to find the one samples of the DFT, how many additions you are doing over here is 1, 2, 3. So 3 additions you are doing to find one sample of the DFT of the given signal. So since you have a n number of samples to be calculated, so therefore to find the DFT of the given particular signal, that is it is consisting of n number of samples, then you need a n into n minus number of additions you are supposed to do. So this is a very tedious task. So in order to minimize this tedious task, we have come up with a one more important form of calculating the DFT, that we call it as a linear transformation. So you can see the DFT formulas, that is x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n into omega n to the power of kn. And similarly, the IDFT formula we are going to calculate as x of n is equal to 1 by n summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k omega n to the power of minus k into n, where k is taking the value 0, 1, so on up to n minus 1. So can carefully observe over here. Here also it is a summation is taking the value 0 to n minus 1, and here also the summation is taking the value 0 to n minus 1, means there is no any difference between these equations, only in these two terms. And these two terms are multiplication terms, what we are able to see it over here. Now, if it is possible for us to represent in the form of matrix, so that we can able to do the multiplications in the matrix as quickly as possible. So therefore, what we can do is, we are going to represent this DFT expression and IDFT expression in the form of matrix. So you can see here, the endpoint vector of x of n can be represented in the form of n cross 1 cross n minus k vector, that is the given IDFT formulas, we can represent it. Similarly, the DFT of the given expressions, we can represent it in a column matrix, which is holding the value 1 cross n. And similarly, the twiddle factors, the twiddle factors we are going to represent of the matrix in the order n cross n. So if you expand this expression, so when you substitute k is equal to 0, so when you substitute k is equal to 0, this is the what the value you are going to get. Means for the first sample of the DFT signal, since it is a sum of all the samples of the given signal x of n, so therefore the twiddle factors will be holding the value 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 for the first row and the first column. And next, when you substitute k is equal to 1, the first sample will be having 1, and the subsequent samples will be omega n to the power of 2n, omega n to the power of 3n, so on up to omega n to the power of 2n. Similarly, when you substitute k is equal to 2, so which corresponding to the third row, which will be holding the value, the first sample will be holding the value 1, and the second sample will be holding the value omega n to the power of 2, omega n to the power of 4, and so on up to omega n to the power of 2n to into minus 1. So ultimately, if I want to find out the DFT of the nth term, then you will be holding the twiddle factor value omega n to the power of n minus 1, you will be holding. So we can represent this multiplication, that is a summation expression in terms of matrices, so that it will be easy for us to do the calculation. Now let us see, now let us take up one example and how we can able to calculate this one. So you can see the endpoint DFT we can able to calculate by using this expression, where x of n is nothing but it is a column matrix, having an matrix value, that is the rank of the matrix is 1 cross n, and similarly omega n, it is a matrix of values twiddle factors ranging in the range of n cross n, and x of n is nothing but the given input sequence, which is also a column matrix which is holding the value 0 to n minus 1, and the matrix rank matrix is 1 cross n. So if we substitute this, so this is how we are going to calculate the DFT of the given formula. Similarly, the IDFT expressions, we know that since twiddle factor will be having a minus 1 value, therefore x of small n is nothing but we can able to calculate the twiddle factor by using this, that is omega n to the power of minus 1 into the DFT wall is what we are going to do it. So here also we can able to it is possible for us to find out the IDFT of the given signal. Now from this we can come to a conclusion that the omega n to the power of minus 1 can be written as 1 by n omega n to the power of the complex conjugate of the twiddle factor. If you do that, and if you divided this by an n number of samples means, then you are going to get the inverse twiddle factor of the given signal. So now let us take up one example and try to find how we can able to make use of this linear computation of the given DFT. So you can see here the computation of the endpoint DFT of the given signal. They have given you 4 samples x of n, they have given you, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, and you need to able to, you are supposed to calculate the DFT of the given signal, which is nothing but x of k you need to calculate. Since you have 4 samples, so the matrix, the twiddle factor matrix will be of the order 4 cross 4. The matrix will be of order 4 cross 4. As you can see here, omega 4 to the power of 0, omega 4 to the power of 0, omega 4 to the power of 0, omega 4 to the power of 0. The first row for the first column will be always it is 1, as we have discussed over here. And the next value, it corresponds to k is equal to 1. So therefore what we will be having is omega 4 to the power of 1, omega 4 to the power of 2, omega 4 to the power of 3. The third row corresponding to k is equal to 2. So therefore omega 4 to the power of 2 in that form of multiplication of 2 will be having. So omega 4 to the power of 4, omega 4 to the power of 6. And the next one will be having omega 4 to the power of 0, omega 4 to the power of 3, omega 4 to the power of 6, and omega 4 to the power of 9. Since we have two properties which is associated with the twiddle factor, that is, one we call it as a symmetric property, and one more we call it as a antisymmetric property. So what is that symmetric property? That is the periodicity properties, that we have omega n to the power of a plus n can be written as omega n to the power of a can be written as. So by using this periodicity property, we can able to reduce this expression, that is omega 4 to the power of 6 can be written as omega 4 to the power of 4 plus 2. If I do that, then I can be represent this as omega 4 to the power of 2. Similarly, this omega 4 to the power of 9 can be written as omega 4 to the power of 5 plus 4, and this can be written as omega 4 to the power of 5, and again omega 4 to the power of 5 can be written as omega 4 to the power of 5 can be written as omega 4 to the power of 4 plus omega 4 to the power of 1. We can write it like this: omega 4 to the power of 4, omega 4 to the power of 1, we can write. Since we know that omega 4 to the power of 4, the value is 1, so therefore we can write omega 4 to the power of 9 as omega 4 to the power of 1. So if I substitute all these values, so this is the twiddle factors matrix what I will be getting. And since we know that omega n is to find the DFT of the given signal, what we are supposed to do is we need to multiply this twiddle factor matrix with respect to the given input signal. The given input signal what we have taken is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I multiply this with this column, so you'll be getting the DFT of the given signal, which is given by 6 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2 minus 2 minus 2j you'll be getting. Okay. So the remaining thing we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.